How's it going, Lazy Bruce? Up over Sixkilla and welcome back to the Zodiac Trial. Now we're in the run where Dog has taken absolute control of the entire fucking game because he has taken over all the best fighters, and now it's turned into yet another gang war as usual. Have I saved this? Save this choice? Make a run for it? Tell Bunny the number. Okay, we have. Alright, so first of all we're going to run for it because I reckon that's going to be a fail. And I'd like to do the fail first. I just couldn't trust Bunny with that sort of power. I'd already seen what it could do. I had to be the one to use it. While everyone was just standing around, still frozen, I needed to make the first move. I ran toward the nearest door, however my path put me in close proximity to Horse. My movement broke to the standstill. As I tried to run past him, he grabbed onto my arm like a vice. Oh no. I immediately regretted my choice as he swung me around with surprising ease and slammed me into the nearby wall. My bones cracked, my head spun, my ears rang. Just like that, I was already disoriented. But I was aware enough to see Horse coming towards me, about to deal another kick to my head. What about Tiger? Wasn't he fighting her? It was a smart move, incapacitating some of the weaker variables before starting on any harder fights. But over to the side, Tiger was rushing at Horse. Surely she'd slam into him before he could kick me, right? I held on to the hope right until the shoe reached my nose. Getting punted in the face by Horse is enough to knock most out. I was not an exception. This is a blessing in disguise though, since I was knocked out, I didn't have to be conscious when the knives entered my neck. Queen of Diamonds. Dog will take control of powerful fighters using the Taming Whip. Mouse needs to be keenly aware of her limited physical abilities. Thanks. If she can't utilize the group's main advantage, numbers, she won't be able to prevent defeat. The key is not to engage physically, but to challenge Dog on his own terms. And we're about to do that. Tell Bunny the number. This is really the only one thing I could do. Bunny, the whip's code is 3195. Quickly, get Dog. Instantly, Bunny realized what I meant. He sprung into action, rushing into the nearby classroom. Horse chased after him, but by the time he reached the room, the door was already closed. He tried breaking in, but before he could finish, the familiar announcement played. Bunny is currently attempting to tame Dog. Yeah. Just like the round, so too did the brewing fight pause. There was no point, so long as the fate of Dog was in the air. Bunny left the room with a confident smirk. Damn, I was hoping we wouldn't get to this stage. But fair play, Bunny, you challenged me. Yeah, so I'm protected by the no interference clause, right? Sure, neither Horse or Dragon is going to attack you. It doesn't explain why they're not dealing with the others, though. Why would we? Huh? You moron, we're not eager to work with a psychopath like you. If Bunny wins this, he gets control of you, and by proxy, us. In that case, the group can all survive together and you can go die on your own fucking dime. Heh, yeah, you got me. I realized the flaw of my plan the moment I challenged Dragon. Got the feeling this might devolve into a last man standing Gamblefest. And you know what? That actually sounds interesting. It's been a long time since I actually been this excited about something. So come on, Bunny. You challenge me? Which means I get to pick what we play. Bring it. If it means stopping an evildoer like you, I can handle anything. Now that's what I'm talking about, Bunny. Evildoer, huh? How ironic. Well, no matter. If it's a gamble off we're in for, we should play some of the classics, don't you think? What is it going to be, poker or something? I challenge you to a classic game of Texas Hold'em. Yep, poker. You're confident because you play against Bowen a lot, aren't you? I'm not sure if you're aware, but I've also played with Bowen quite a bit. Oh, I'm aware, and I know you can't beat him. He's my boss, I let him win. Is that so? Of course. How noble. So let's just set the rules. I want to keep things simple. Standard card things. We each draw 2. 5 community cards with the regular order, yada yada. Yada da. Nothing weird there. So we each take 20 chips, the ante will be 1 and it'll increase every 12 rounds. That sound fine to you? Of course, there's nothing to dispute in those rules at all. Oh shit, what did he just say? One last thing I ask is that... What does it say? The spectators, he gestured over to our group, stay a good distance from us, and they stand at our sides. I don't want anyone sneaking a peek at my cards and sending signals. But of course, I don't want any outside interference. You know Dog's gonna cheat, right? Like he did with every other game so far. I was almost fascinated how completely they'd isolated the rather large group of people standing around them. In this moment, the principal actors in this story were Bunny and Dog. Everyone else was just to the side. Dog went over to the vending machine and grabbed some stacks of chips. Then he sat at the table and started splitting them up into groups of 20. Meanwhile, Bunny thoroughly shuffled the cards. Let me be clear. Unlike most people here, I have some card experience. Don't think you're going to be able to pull anything. I'll eagerly use the cheaters get executed rule. Don't worry, I wouldn't try something like that against you. I'm not that dumb. Good, then let's get started. And just like that, they began to play. They played Life or Death Hold'em with an audience of 9. What do you think's going to happen? I don't know. Not a very interesting answer. Sorry. Do you think Bunny has a shot? He certainly has a shot. He's got the experience to at least stop Dog from cheating. And poker's a game that can be won with one good stroke alone. Bunny's definitely good at concealing his emotions. I'm sensing a but. But Dog chose this game. I'm guessing he's really good at it. He's a gambler. It's got to be his primary thing. He was really good at it. His face, despite being fairly expressive, was utterly inscrutable. Unlike Bunny, who stayed silent and maintained a determined expression, Dog liked to chat a lot. He'd constantly say things like, "This hand's really good," or "God, this sucks." It was impossible to tell when he was being genuine and when he was trying to manipulate Bunny. He seemed to alternate between the two with incredible irregularity. More than that, he'd bully Bunny out of hands with big raises early on. But he'd also sometimes fold to absolutely nothing. It was just hard to get a beat on him. It certainly seemed to annoy Bunny, but early on the effectiveness of the strategy seemed questionable. Bunny slowly gained a lead through the first half of the game. When Bunny led 26 chips to 14, Dog put 10 chips on the flop. Bunny, who had trips, called. But Dog had 2 suited cards which matched the 2 suited cards in the flop. If a diamond showed up and turned over on the turn or river, it'd be his win. The turn came and it was the Jack of Spades. A Queen of Diamonds came on the river. Just like that, Dog gained 26 to 16 lead. The game didn't go much better for Bunny after that. He lost minus squabble after minus squabble until he only had 7 chips left. When the flop came down, Dog looked mischievous. "Oh boy, I really shouldn't have given you this sort of charity. But I don't want the game to end." He put in 7 chips. "Come on, I'll gift you 7 chips." "I'm serious, no strings attached. I've got absolutely nothing, so if you go all in, you can start your comeback." You really like to bully other players when you play poker, huh? You really picked the wrong hand to do it with. Bunny pushed all his chips to the center. "I'm all in." Great. Dog flipped over his 2 cards. He had a Queen of Hearts and a Queen of Spades. They matched the Queen of Diamonds in the pool. Bunny's face immediately flushed. "What's the matter? You don't happen to have a 5 and a 7, do you?" "Oh, if you all in with 2 pair just for your opponent to have 3 of a kind, that'd really suck, huh?" "What are you hesitating for? Show me your cards." Bunny lay his cards on the table. "Horse, knock over the card deck." "What?" "If you knock over the deck, mix those cards up with mine, and we won't be able to know if the outcome of the round. We'll have to do it over again." "And why would I do that?" "Because Dog doesn't have the victorious personality." "I do." The entire room went silent. What? What was Bunny talking about? I looked over to Dog and saw him trying to hold in a smirk. "Bunny, what are you talking about?" "It's just like I said, I have the victorious personality." "And why is Dog doing all of this? Why did he get Horse and Dragon to grab our tablets?" "He's probably got the defeated personality. It's mostly the same, but with one real caveat. The only person who can survive with the defeated personality is the victorious personality. Essentially, Horse, Dragon, if Dog wins, you're dead anyway." "No way." "Yes way. So if you're going to die anyway, knock over the deck and help me win." Bunny snapped, shouting at them, but neither Horse nor Dragon moved. "What's the matter with you two? Don't you get it? You're already dead. And if you're already dead, you should help me survive, damn it." "Heh, you really don't get it, do you?" "What? Sure, they can't work with me anymore, but why would they give up their lives to help you? After all, you just admitted to having the victorious personality. You two can actually win and live with me." "They can't live if they get executed knocking over that deck. And besides, they want the group to live. So if they're going to make a move against me, it's not going to be when you're challenging me." "Oh, Bunny, this is honestly such a disappointment. If you just played things a bit smarter, both of us could have survived. I was in the perfect position if you just realized." "No, but that wasn't the type of victory you wanted, was it?" "Well, quit stalling. There are 2 more cards to draw. Who knows, if you get lucky, you can still win." With a trembling hand, Bunny moved to pick up the top 2 cards of the deck. He placed them face down next to the flop cards. Generally, the turn and the river weren't revealed at the same time, but Bunny had already gone all in, so there was no need to delay. He left them on the table face down. He was paralyzed. It was like he couldn't turn them. "Scared, huh? Guess I'll do it for you." Dog casually leaned over and flipped the cards, a 3 of hearts and a king of spades. "No." "Oof. Rough luck, buddy. But that's poker for you. Enraged Bunny lunged at Dog. He didn't get far, however, before a mechanical sound activated and he fell to the floor, writhing in pain. He started scratching at his neck, to no avail. The knives in the collar were piercing his skin, choking him. I had to turn around. I didn't want to watch someone die. I wasn't the only one who averted their gaze. After a bit, I didn't hear any writhing. Bunny? I wanted to feel bad for him. But why'd he hide his personality from us? Because he didn't want to die? Christ, that was graphic. I'm going to need a drink a lot to forget that. Dog's words were like a magic spell that undid our group paralysis. Immediately, Dragon sprung to action. We can go out together, huh? You want to work with me? Shit. Dog scrambled to run into a different room. Dragon chased after him, and even though she was faster, the starting distance between the two let Dog get into a room before she could catch him. It was a matter of seconds before that blasted announcement played. Attention! Dog is currently attempting to tame Ox. During this challenge, the round's timer has been paused. Know that any participant that in any way intervenes you. Whew! Gotta hand it to you, that was a close one. This whole thing's really giving me a heart attack. You're the one getting a heart attack? I guess you're right. That's not fair. Without the help of Horse or Dragon, what's your long-term plan here? Are you going to play against each and every one of us until we're all under your control? Why would I tell you that? You just sit back and watch the plan kick into action. I don't think I want to. Oh, I guess I didn't think about that. Would you all just be quiet? I'm trying to pick a game that I can actually win. By all means, take as long as you want. Whatever. If I think about this too long, I'm going to get a migraine. How about we play 2 truths, 1 lie? 2 truths, 1 lie, huh? I have no objections to it. Seems like a sort of random game for you to choose, though. Not what I'd expect. It's basically a game of interrogation, which isn't entirely far away from my actual line of work. A game of interrogation, huh? Not how I'd characterize it, but to each their own. We'll keep the rules simple. Every round will consist of 2 phrases, your phrase and mine. On your phrase, I'll make 3 statements. 1 will be a lie. The other 2 will be true. You need to guess which one isn't correct. If you guess right, you'll get a point. If you guess wrong, you don't. Then we do the same thing, but I have to guess, and you make the statements. The game will end whenever a round finishes and one of us is in the lead. So basically, I keep going until someone both attacks and defends successfully, huh? If you want to think about it like that, I guess that works. I have no objections to that on the face of things. However, there's a bit of a problem we might run into I'd like to address. Unlike a friendly game of this, there's a bit on the line, isn't there? So how do we know if the other person's being genuine when they reveal which statement was the lie? We'll simply have to write down the false statement beforehand. That works on the gritty mechanic side of things, but how do I know your truths will genuinely be true, and vice versa? How about this? Brian's observing the matches live, right? He's clearly done quite extensive research on our backgrounds before this, and he has access to the internet. Behind the scenes, I would ask Brian to reasonably vet our statements, and if anyone says anything that is true that isn't true or vice versa, that person instantly forfeits the match. You know Brian doesn't know everything about us, right? True, but we're both unaware of what he does know, and I would think the risk of instant disqualification will be the motive enough not to cheat. Alright, yeah, I can roll with that. We're just spending daylight as it is. Let's just jump right into it. Fine, we can start now. I'll go first. Ox stood in thought for a few moments, then he looked around for a nearby sheet of paper. This is something that he can't cheat at. I mean, he could. It took an awkwardly long amount of time to find some, but once he did scribble something down and fold the sheet up. Okay, I want to be a singer when I grow up. I have a younger sister. I'm currently single. Which is a lie. Those are your 3 statements? Those blew, my dude. But alright, I guess if that's what you're going with. Dog stood in silence for a bit before sighing. You're really no fun. Those are like nothing statements. It could honestly be any of them, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'll go with you being single, I guess. You seem like a pretty charming fellow. I think you probably have a lady friend on the side to have fun with. Prosecution stressful work, right? You need someone to help with that? With a taciturn face, Ox simply unfolded his paper. I am, in fact, an only child. What shocking revelations. You're really blowing my mind with that. This isn't supposed to be a slumber party activity, it's a life or death battle. Really? Then why'd you choose the most middle school statements ever? You didn't ask any follow-up questions, so no wonder it was boring for you. You think this game is about follow-up questions? Look, I'll show you how it's done. On Ox's paper, Dog scribbled his own statement and folded the paper once more. Chief of Police Bowen is desperately afraid of something, and therefore is secretly conducting a very intense investigation. Brian regularly showed up around my bar before this game started. I lied during the testimony I presented during Mr. Morris's trial. So, what am I lying about? The fact that 2 of those statements had to be real, should have been real, made me shudder. What was Dog talking about here? What did he know? It also seemed to shake Ox. That's probably why Dog posed such questions. There's some big claims you made. Let's go through them one at a time. How'd you learn about Bowen's desperation? Are you going to say something? Didn't say anything in the rules about having to answer. So that's how it's going to be, huh? Figures, guess I'm on my own. The third statement is so preposterous I'm tempted to pick that. However, if it's true, it's the type of thing that would explain why Brian would pick you for this sort of game. You're also not saying that the whole testimony was made up, which I know isn't true, just that at some point during it you lied. It could be something minor, it's plausible. But the second statement? That's actually something you already said. It was brief, but you mentioned it offhand during the first round. Back then you had no motive to lie, so we can safely assume that was genuine. But why would you choose something you've already mentioned? Did you just forget you'd said that? Despite your outward appearance, you've proven to be an exceedingly shrewd person. You would remember that, and I bet you know I would too. In that case, even though I don't know why you would lie about it, I think you did back then. And you remembered such a strange lie, and you're using it to your advantage now. I believe your second statement is a lie. Nah, sorry. Dog held out the paper. I didn't lie in the court. I'm a very good boy who would never sin against the Lord by committing perjury. Uh-huh. So what was that about the Chief of Police? I have no obligation to tell. That's private information. We tied this round, right? Both our offences failed. So it's your turn to make some truths and lies again. Very well. If you disliked my strategy last round, I very much doubt you're going to like what I'm about to do. However, I think this is the best strategy. Ox took the paper and quickly wrote something on it. He folded up the paper and put it in his pocket. I drew a smiley face on that paper. I drew a frowny face on that paper. I only drew one face on that paper. You were right when you said I was going to hate this. This is literally nothing, Ox. You made this a guessing game. Precisely. I hate it. Alright, here we go. Dog walked right up to Ox. Right away, I'm going to eliminate the third option. You definitely drew only one face. Knowing you, you'd probably drew a frowny face. That's just basic psychology. But that's probably what you'd think I'd think. So then you drew a smiley face. I couldn't differentiate between your reactions when I suspected one, then when I suspected the other. Is it because you really did draw both? No, you didn't. Because I just saw that you get less tense when I mentioned that. And now that I flipped, you've suddenly got more tense. So which did you draw? You definitely drew a smiley face, didn't you? It was an audible sigh of relief. Way too blatant. Now that you realise I'm reading your reactions, you try to throw me off. So, you drew a smiley face. Ox's face grew visibly concerned. He held out the paper and sure enough it was a smiley face. Ha! Wicked. It's not over yet. I can still make a comeback if I guess you lie properly. Of course. It's far from being over, I wouldn't dare say that. Now let's see, what's a good one for this? Dog thought to himself, then started writing something down on the paper. He folded it and placed it on a nearby table. Here it goes. I wasn't the first person to read the whip's tag. That's true. Mouse wasn't the first person to read the whip's tag. Bunny wasn't the first person to read the whip's tag. Those were his statements? What was his game saying that? So you're just asking who read the whip's tag first in your group. Then, Ox started to turn around and look at me and then stopped. Hold on. If I read anything useful off Mouse's face, that would count as interference and she'd be executed, wouldn't she? I would? Is that why you picked this question, to try and get Mouse executed? No comment. Wow, and I thought you couldn't go lower. Yeah, just make a guess. I'm not just going to make a guess when my life's on the line. Since you used the whip, it would make most sense if you were the one who directly found it, but I can hardly be sure of that. However, I think you would know I'd be driven away from choosing you as the reader, and therefore, maybe that's why you posed a question like this. And therefore, I'm guessing that I wasn't the first person to read the whip's tag as a lie. Dog just chuckled, and in an instant, Ox's face fell. Too bad, so sad. Tell him, Mouse. I read the tag off the whip first. Man, Ox, you should have had more faith in your good pal Mouse. So that's that then. I'm under your control now. Yep. So the round's over, I suppose. Dragon smirked, and Dog ran into another room. Instead of continuing to chase after him, Dragon just stopped when she realised he would make it to the room. Everyone waited for him to challenge someone with the whip. However, no announcement came. Hey, what the hell, Dog? Why aren't you challenging someone? Why would I challenge someone? Because you want to stop me from beating you up? Why would you beat me up? Are you dense? Dragon, think about things a little more clearly. The last thing you want right now is for me to challenge someone. As the challenger, if I lose, I die. Yeah, and? Have you not been paying attention? If I die, you die. She's gonna die anyway. It would be much better for you if the group won after challenging me. Then they get control of me, and by extension you. And you could lead the group to a mutual win. Hold on, Dragon. If you don't make him challenge someone, he gets to pick the game. That lowers our odds of winning. Winning doesn't matter if the victory will kill you, aren't I right? Sorry, Mouse, but Dog's right. As much as I want to kick the shit out of him, I'm transitioning to be his bodyguard. If you want to get to him, then one of you needs to be the one to challenge him. But we'd be at an advantage. I have to ask, must we challenge him? Can we not simply run the clock out on him? So long as so many are unwilling to cooperate with him, it'll be exceedingly hard for him to get out alive. If you try doing that, I won't put any actions for any round I control this round. That way, they'll be executed. You fucker, I'll beat the hell out of you. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at them. If you want to survive, your only option is to get someone who hasn't challenged me to challenge me, and for them to win. So come on, get to convincing. Dragon looked painfully at us. She was in a real tough situation. I didn't envy her. On the other hand, it was a tall order to convince anyone to challenge Dog. After all, everyone so far had lost to him, even when they got to choose their ideal game. The prospect of dying upon losing to Dog was an incredible disincentive to challenging him, and there wasn't any real motivation to challenge him. At present, even though Dog had plenty of leverage, it was mostly an empty threat to those he hadn't yet challenged. If things stayed on course, Dog would be still unable to fulfill his personality's win condition, not with everyone against him. He could use the people he currently had tamed as leverage, but once they died, he'd be forced to resort back to challenging us one at a time if he wanted to win. But if we did nothing, Horse, Tiger, Dragon, and Ox would all die. Was it right to abandon them like that? It wasn't. I steeled myself. However, right as I was about to say something, Snake stepped forwards. Very well, I suppose the task falls to me. Finally, a challenger. I knew you were a fun one, Snake. Care to join me in a battle of wits? Comparing any of the games we've seen so far to a battle of wits is like comparing a paradel to poetry. The hell's a paradel? But I'm reasonably confident in my abilities no matter which game you choose. All I've seen from you so far are parlor tricks designed to exploit your opponent's intellectual blind spots. Perhaps this comes across as arrogant, but I possess no such blind spots. You're right, that does come across as arrogant. I'll be no easy opponent. Yeah, that absolutely comes across as extremely arrogant. He's not wrong. But I guess you're not that wrong, really. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. And while you've got plenty of weaknesses, Snake, he's a snack. I'll concede that speaking intellectually, you're fairly well rounded. I certainly won't be able to pull any cheap tricks. So then the question, what to play against you? You could hear Dog tapping on his forehead while he looked through the list. Basketball. It's going to be like Space Jam. Well, let's have some fun, why don't we? Looks like you've already been having fun. Let's play Russian roulette. Russian roulette? Dog re-entered the room. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, Dog, but I believe we need guns for that. Oh, like these? Dog pulled 2 guns out of his pocket. Holy shit. What the hell, Dog? When did you get those? They were under the dartboard. Figured I'd hold on to them. If you had those, why have you been acting all defenseless? You literally have a gun. Yeah, well, I didn't think to grab bullets at the time. If any of you saw me grabbing bullets, I'd probably be decked. I figured if it'd be that much trouble to get set up, I might as well play things fairly straight. But now we've got a great excuse. I must ask, what do the rules of Russian roulette constitute? The tradition is fairly ambiguous and not normally a competition. Guess I gotta come up with rules for this, huh? Dog took a moment to formalize his thoughts. Okay, let's go with this. To start with, if you ever shoot yourself in the head, that's obviously an instant loss, regardless of any other context. Also, whenever you shoot, you have to spin the cylinder enough so that it's totally random. We'll each have a gun and 6 bullets. We can then load any amount of bullets we want into the gun. None, 6, doesn't matter to me. Next we show our guns. Whoever loaded more bullets, wins. But there's a catch. Right, both players have to fire the gun at themselves before a winner can be declared. Even the supposed loser has to shoot. Exactly. To avoid a both dead situation, the loser will shoot first. If we put in an equal amount of bullets, then the game becomes who is willing to fire at themselves more. If I fire, then you fire. Then I fire, and if you're not willing to fire again, I'd win. If we fired an equal amount of times, and neither of us are willing to shoot again, then we'll restart from the beginning. That all fly with you? I must say it's a bit unorthodox, but I guess I don't have much choice in the matter, do I? I'm sad to say you don't. In that case, go get the bullets. Dog nodded and obliged. To the side, Monkey whispered to me. It's honestly quite a fascinating puzzle. Really seems pretty luck-based to me. Certainly chance is a large factor, however there's also a psychological problem at play. If you put in more than 3 bullets, then win or lose, you're more likely than not to die anyways. The worst situation would be having less bullets than your opponent and still having the possibility of shooting yourself. In that sense, if you think you're going to have less bullets, it would be best to put in no bullets and simply hope the opponent kills himself. But if you put in no bullets, your opponent could just put in 1 and they could win with very little risk. It's also worth noting that the loser fires first. If you think your opponent is going to shoot for the moon with 4 or even 5 bullets, it could be worth it to simply put in 6 bullets and hope they kill themselves. It seems way too risky a move. If you put in 5 or 6, then the other person could put in 1 or 2, it'd be over like that. One thing's clear, it's almost impossible to win this game without some amount of risk. You're telling me. It's a shame, I've always wanted to try out Russian roulette. You what? Are you secretly suicidal? Of course not, of course not. I'm just saying, it's an intriguing premise. Feeling the weight of the gun in your hand, the thoughts that must enter your head as you slowly pull the trigger, the unsure atmosphere that after you pulled the trigger between heaven and hell. Surely a fascinating experience, from a professional point of view, of course. Of course. You fucking nutcase. I simply took a step away from Monkey and made a mental note to consider changing therapists after we got out of here. Anyway, while we'd been talking, Dog and Snake had prepared everything. They each held a pistol and 6 bullets. Then they nodded at each other and brought their items under the table. After some time had passed, both were ready. Ready to begin? I've loaded my bullets. Have you yours? Yep. Then let's show. Snake held up his gun. I've loaded 4 bullets into my gun. 4? My, that's quite a few bullets. What on earth would prompt you to do that? On the one hand, it might seem like it's quite the risk of my life. However, my odds should be considerably higher than 1/3 when you consider that by loading 4, I've nearly guaranteed my victory. I suspect you've loaded 2 or 3 bullets. That should be the standard move. In the worst case scenario, where you've loaded 2, you have a 1 in 3 chance of killing yourself, and failing that, I have a 1 in 3 chance of surviving. Achieving 2 in 3 odds for this sort of gamble is perfectly acceptable to me. Neat thought process you got there, Snake. Unfortunately for you, I'm a real scaredy cat. Dog held up his gun. I've only loaded 1 bullet. I have to be honest, I thought you were going to load 0 bullets. But this is quite unfortunate. You're telling me. Looks like we completely misread each other. I think this works out mostly for me though. I'm afraid you're right, but I'm yet to be sunk. Right, I could shoot myself now. Let's see if that happens, shall we? Without so much as a second thought, Dog began rapidly spinning his cylinder. Then he held the pistol to the side of his head and fired. He didn't roll a 1. That's that. Now time for you to spin. Your unwavering confidence in the face of danger is commendable. I wish I had your resolve. Getting cold feet? Yes. Let us hope my time in the military has served me well. Time in the military? There are many different types of pistol. And there's a funny defect about some of them. Many let weight affect how they spin around in the cylinder. By examining it, I think this is one such pistol. I've loaded my 4 bullets in a line. By shifting the center of gravity within the chamber so drastically, it should be more likely that I end up with a bulletless shot. Wow. Cute theory. Will it work? We shall find out. Snake held the pistol right out and gave it a few good spins. He let the cylinder come to an unnatural stop. Then he brought it to the side of his head. He took a deep breath in. I don't know what that says. Then he pulled the trigger. Click. Ah, it appears my gambit paid off. I'm sorry to inform you, Dog, but you're no longer in... Snake was shot right through the head. His body went limp in his chair. No! What the hell? Why did he... I felt the urge to vomit. Sitting across from Snake, Dog held out his gun with a blank look on his face. Dog? What the hell do you think you're doing? I made the rules perfectly clear, didn't I? The cylinders must be spun so that the shot is completely random. Oh, Snake, always so eager to prove your cleverness. If you just shut up, you would have gotten away with it. You didn't cheat. The pistols were built like that. Oh, really? Then Brian, if Snake didn't cheat, execute me right here, right now. There was a long pause of silence with Bryant looking up in the air. Well, that settles that. So next up? Dog leaned over and grabbed the gun from Snake's still warm hand. It took a second to process what he was doing, but once I realized, I immediately began running. Get away! My warning spurred the other spectators to start hiding out. I slid behind the nearby wall as cover. A bullet whizzed right by my side, almost grazing my jacket. Why are you running? Shit. Using Russian roulette as an excuse, Dog has gained control of the situation. The only way to approach him now would be use the taming whip. But who could challenge him? Pig? Sheep? Monkey? No, I knew what I had to do. What I should have already done before Snake challenged him. I ran toward the nearest empty room. Then when I was safe, I turned the tablet and pressed the item button. I input the code. And... Congratulations, you've begun an attempt to tame Dog. Please wait for Dog to select the game you'll be challenging him to. With that, he couldn't harm me without interfering with the game. I walked back into the commons and Dog was looking fairly miffed. Those Dog had already tamed were standing around, but those still clear had fled to nearby hiding spots, scared off by the gun. Well, well, well. So it's come to this. That it has. I had a feeling I'd face you down before this was done. Did you now? Well, to be fair, I had a feeling I'd face most of you people. Before I agree to anything, I've got a request. Hit me. I want you to place the guns over there by the couch. What? Why? I think that even if I win, you might be such a sore loser you're going to try and kill me. For real? That's totally an uncool thing to do. You really think I'd do something like that? I wouldn't put it past you. Well, if it makes you happy. Dog walked over to the nearby couch and placed both pistols down. That good enough for you? Yep. Now pick a game for us to play. Okay, on it. Dog whistled as he looked through the list. There were 2 dead bodies in this room. How could he act so nonchalantly? He really didn't care about anything. No, that couldn't be right. If he didn't, he wouldn't be going through all this. Yeah, he cares about himself. I could be lame and just choose a game we've already done, but that's no fun. Let's go with a classic. You seem to be a very honest person, Mouse. I try to be. Then you should struggle at Liar's Dice. Liar's Dice? Never heard of it? Oh, this one's a classic. Essentially, we both have the same dice. We roll our die and then hide them so that only we can see them. Then we take turns making offers. Any subsequent offer has to be bigger. So 1 would be the smallest offer, then 1 2, 1 3, all the way up to 1 6, then 2 1s, and so on. The offers are guesses on how many a certain type of roll there is cumulatively between our group of die. The person who lost the last round has to make the first offer. Eventually, the offer will get so high that one of us will call it. When an offer is called, all the die will be revealed. The person who made the offer was right if there was really at least 4 5s or whatever, when the person who called loses. I have no idea what that means. You just said a whole bunch of words and I don't understand. On the other hand, if there are less than 4 5s, the person who made the offer loses. The loser gives up on their die and the game continues. And whoever lost the die to the first... whoever lost the die the first to say an offer. The fuck? Are you even saying... That's not a sentence? When you run out of die, that's the game. Understand? No. Yeah, okay. I think I understand. Great. Let's get started. I didn't understand a word he just said. As Dog walked over to grab some die out of the vending machine, I steeled myself. This is it. This is realistically the last chance to stop him. Everyone was counting on me. You've got this, Mouse. Kick his ass. Careful, Mouse. He's a difficult opponent. This won't be easy. Obviously, this wouldn't be easy. As usual, Ox was no help. Ruthless. But I was thankful for the motivation the others gave me. But not you, Ox. Go fuck yourself. It fills me with a sense of strength. Who cared if Dog had won all the other games? Everyone's luck runs out eventually. It's not luck, he's cheating. This is the end of the line for Dog. I faced him down over the table and he took 4 dice out of his pocket. So we each get 4? Oh no, we each get 2. 2? Yep, keep things nice and succinct. I was already getting a bad feeling, but I kept that to myself. Since you're the challenger, you can make the first offer. So now let's roll. At Dog's command, we rolled our dice with one hand and shielded them from view with our other. I rolled a 1 and a 3. Didn't seem ideal, but I had to make the first offer. It was possible for me to bluff right out the gate saying a number I didn't have, like 6. Alternatively, I could just say one of the numbers I did have. I claim to have... I don't even know the rules still, because what he said to me didn't make any fucking sense to me, so I'm just going to pick one at random. 1 6. I started with a bluff. Dog hesitated. To call, to not call. What the hell, I'm calling your bluff. You don't have a 6. He showed his dice and he didn't have a 6. I showed my dice and I didn't have a 6. Looks like I got the first hit in. Yay me. As the loser, I had to discard one of my dice. Now I just had 1 left. Time to roll again. And like that, we made our fateful rolls. It was super duper focused on my die, willing it to be good. Be a high number, be a high number. It was a 2. Damn it. Dog, on the other hand, had 2 dice to work with. Surely he had 3 now. Against my measly 1, that was a huge advantage. And to make it worse, once more I had to make the first offer. So what was my move? I don't fucking know. 4. I had to bluff if I wanted to win. A 4 seemed like a decent bluff. 1-4. 1-4? Oh, too bad. 3 4s. Was he serious? Call? I showed my 2. He scowled. So that's how it is. He revealed his hand, showing 2 4s. Doubles again? Annoyed, he tossed his die to the side. Suddenly, it was an even game. Looks like this is his final roll. Quite. Dog was suddenly unamused. He looked serious. Of course he was serious. This would all be decided with 1 roll. We made our final rolls, and I rolled a 4. Not bad. Not too bad, but he made the starting offer. With a grin, Dog looked at me. 1-5. 1-5? Shit, shit. It looked like I was dead. But could I still pull it back? I don't know, because I still don't know how the game works. I'm just picking numbers at random now. Cool. My only hope was that he was starting with a strong early bluff. I call you. Wrong choice. He lifted his hand, revealing he did indeed have roll a 5. Shit. Looks like you lost, Mouse. Hate to say it, but you gotta toss away that last die of yours. And that was that. I've been thoroughly, utterly beaten. Nice try, Mouse, really. He had the demeanor of a scary opponent, but it just wasn't enough. This cocky smirk. Hatred filled my lungs. I couldn't breathe, I was so angry. This degenerate, scummy, worthless piece of vermin would be the only one to survive this game. Fuck that. Even if he was unstoppable, I wasn't gonna let him walk all over the group. Monkey, sheep, pig, and rooster were all still free. Everyone else was hoping one of them would be able to defeat Dog and save them. But if any of them had a fraction of the conviction I had, things could have been settled. If I was gonna die, I was gonna let 4 people live, not 1. Immediately I rushed towards the couch where Dog had left the guns. Shit. Dog struggled to get out of his seat and chase me, but I had the element of surprise. The problem? I didn't know which gun was the loaded one. Just grabbed them both. Boom. Fuck it, I'd have to guess. I grabbed at one, pulled the hammer, turned around and fired wildly. Just then I felt metal impact. I felt metal impact my heart. Dog who chased after me stabbed me in the chest with a golden knife. My shot rang true and the blood gushed out of the side of his neck. Serves him right. That was the last thought before I collapsed to the ground bleeding out. I guess Dog bled out faster though, because before I was completely dead I started to feel my neck contract. The blades in my collar were choking me. So this is it then. Go on, monkey, sheep, pig, rooster. Make this worth it. Queen of Hearts. That's not a terrible ending. Ultimately, the best way to defeat Dog is to beat him in a gamble. The problem then comes to actually beating him, since he's quite good. Mouse has gotten to observe how he played a variety of different gambles at this point. Perhaps by looking at the past, she could read how Dog will try to play her. Alright, we need to win this game somehow, so I don't fucking know. 1-1. 1-1. I started out small. Dog gave me a smirk and instantly answered in kind. 1-3. 1-3, so he also had a 3. What to do with this? Now we can do 3 3s because we know he's got 2 3s. 3 3s. 3 3s? Ah, damn. I got a bad feeling about this, but I guess I'll try 4 3s? 4 3s? That was a definite win. Cool. I showed my hand, my 1 and my 3 with glee. In turn, Dog showed his 2 3s with reluctance. Oh well, win some, lose some. With that, I'd won my first encounter. I was ahead. As the loser, Dog tossed away one of his die. More than anything, he looked determined. He wasn't backing down. Neither was I. Time to roll again. And like that, we made our fateful rolls. I was super duper focused on my die, willing them to be good. It was a 2 and a 4. Didn't seem bad, not bad at all. Dog looked at his hand for a bit, then he spoke. 1-2. 1-2, huh? What was the response to that? 1-4. No need to get fancy. I just say something higher than him. 1-5. What? Was he lying earlier? Or was he bluffing now? I need to think quick. Cool. He must be lying. Cool. Oh? Well, that's nice to hear. Dog showed his hand in. He had a 5. Shit. Would you look at that? We're even again. But not for long. Yep. Looks like this is the final roll. Yep. Dog regained some swagger, but his eyes were cold. Of course he was serious. This would all be decided with 1 roll. We made our final roll and I rolled a 4. Not bad, not bad. We knew what Dog had rolled though. So then I had to make the first offer. What to say? 1-5. What if he had a 5? It was unlikely, but then again, Dog had been rolling real good. Maybe he was cheating. And if that was the case, 1-5. 1-5, huh? Man, would you imagine my luck? I thought I was dead. But someone's smiling on me. 2 5s. Cool. What? I revealed my hand showing a 4. His face scrunched up in frustration as he moved his hand to show a 5. So then you lose your last die. So I do. Yes. Hell yeah. That was a win, clean and simple. No tricks, no cheats. I'd beaten Dog. Seeing that he'd lost, he didn't get angry or sad or happy. His face just became empty. So that's how it goes. Yeah, it is. I guess I should congratulate you or something. Well done. You've beaten me. Whoopee. You don't seem too happy about it. Of course I'm not. But you don't sound too upset either. Yeah, well, if it was going to end up like this, I just wish one of you had won sooner. If I ask why you did all this, will I get a straight answer? Isn't it obvious? I wanted to survive. No, I don't think you particularly did. Yeah, I suppose you're right. It would have been much easier, if a little bit less fun, to just give up and willingly get executed. But I guess I had a bit of resolve after all. Resolve? Resolve to what? Kill people? Resolve to help bury demons. Bury demons? Why do you care? It's not like any of this matters. None of this matters? 2 people are dead. That's life. You really don't care about life? I do. Sometimes, incidentally. But it's not really worth it. You sound like an emo teen. A generous comparison, I'd say. But take it from someone double your age, this isn't just a phase. It's an observation made from actual life experience. As a cop, I ran into so many cases, so much violence, so much death. And the more cases you see, the more you realize how pointless they all are. Some kid who grew up in an unwinnable position, some ridiculous accident that leads to the perfect murder opportunity, some vengeful bankrupt business owner screwed by a deal in a random fluctuation of the market. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. People die, people kill, people live for reasons all entirely beyond their control. And it was the people who felt the need to be in the most control who got fucked over the hardest. And the police, the ones trying to control the chaos, turns out the chief of them was too busy blackmailing his subordinates to do his job properly. Dog, what are you talking about? The chief of police, Bowen, blackmailing his subordinates? No way to stop him. Part of the reason I quit. Opened the bar. As a bartender, you hear a lot of stories from bitter drunkards. More tales of arbitrary suffering in a ridiculous world. Perhaps this is a bit too nihilistic for all of you. A bit too dramatic. But that's because you haven't had your number called on hell's roulette. Step into the shoes of those who have experienced it enough times and you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. Hence, I decided a long time ago, clinging too much to anything's a wash. Best to focus on enjoying the present, all else be damned. Well, I guess I didn't really commit to that decision, seeing as how all this turned out. You still haven't explained yourself. I wonder how much Brian knows. Huh? I can't possibly think it's a coincidence that this is the case that sparked a huge death game. That's way too random. I mean, what are the odds that the case that spawns a mass kidnapping just so happens to be the case that Bowen's been secretly investigating for years now? Bowen's been investigating it? Then are you saying, no, don't get me wrong, Morris is clearly guilty. That's been proven 7 ways to hell and back. We just don't know everything about it. I guess most would chalk up Bowen's secret obsession to the fact that it was his older brother that got murdered. I mean, he was in a real state on the 11th when it happened. But that's not at all, trust me. Then what is it? Instead of answering, Dog leaned down and reached into his boot. Out of his left shoe, he took out an intricate gold knife. What are you doing? You know, this is a gift from Bowen. Bowen's not a good man, but we're friends nonetheless. Neat. The knife is actually part of a pair. It has an identical twin, you could say. The knife is also intricately designed. If you press down here and here, Dog pressed down on parts of the handle. The base of the knife popped down, revealing a small compartment. You get a neat little hidey hole. I keep the knife on me at all times, so by extension, I keep whatever's stored in the hidey hole on me at all times. For a while, that was a roll of $100 bills, but recently I changed it to this. Dog reached in to pull out a small metal capsule. Was it a suicide pill? What was it? He held it in one hand, with his other he started to screw it. And then... was a flashbang? All I could see is white. Was that a fucking flashbang? Why would he set that off? I heard movement in front of me. Rapid movement. But my eyes heard a high whining noise. And I knew in reality which I knew in reality wasn't there. But I was so disoriented I couldn't react. Someone was close to me. It was probably Dog rushing me. Fuck. Time felt like it was slowed. I couldn't do anything to react. Then bang. It took a couple of seconds longer for my eyes to react. When I came back I saw Dog lying to the side of where I stood. He was face down holding his knife in his left hand with a bullet hole through the back of his head. He was clearly sprinting towards me with the knife. Dragon in front of me held a pistol out with her hand shaking. She must have reacted fast enough to save me. But if Dog had died, the worried look on Dragon's face told me that realization had also dawned on Dragon. Dragon, Before I could hear anything, I heard several ugly noises. Tiger, horse, dragon, and ox all cried out in pain. Their knees buckled. They scratched at their throat. They shouted through their bleeding vocal cords. All of their colours had been activated. All of them had been executed. It was a horrifying sight. With one bullet, 5 were dying. I just stood there, frozen. What could I do to save them? Nothing. All that was left was not grief, not horror, nor anger, but utter confusion. What was Dog after just then? Why would he try and kill me, knowing it would kill him, and then kill the other 4? I couldn't think of a single good reason. I just stood there. It didn't take too long for all the bodies to hit the floor. Bunny and snake, dog, horse, tiger, dragon, ox. 7 people lay dead around me. It was a graveyard. Guys, I am a freaking god tier investigator or what? Because I think I found it. So I have some questions. The survivors gathered in the cafeteria when all was said and done. When Dog fired the gun, sheep, monkey, and pig hid in a classroom down the hall. Whether that was smart of them or cowardly is dealer's choice, either way, they let them survive. While the rest of us were at each other's throats, Rooster obliviously continued his search of minor trinkets. He ended up finding most of the minor trinkets as well as a number of major trinkets too. Plus, with the constant pausing of the timer, it was still round 4 after all that time. Both traitors, Dog and Bunny, were dead, so there was nothing to worry about. It was entirely smooth sailing to a joint victory. In the end, 5 people would get to escape unharmed. That wasn't the worst outcome ever, all things considered. At least I got out alive, but that scene, I could still see 4 convulsing in absolute pain and terror. I'll never be able to forget that. And Dog too, I'll never be able to forget him. Nor would I be able to understand him. He went on a taming spree, was seemingly unconcerned upon losing, dropped a bunch of hefty accusations, then mid-explanation tried to knife me. What was his goal? If Dragon hadn't shot him, I'd be... Well, I couldn't think about that. I didn't have to think about any of this, I was free. Screw Dog, screw Bunny, screw Dragon, screw Ox. Can't say screw Dragon, she saved your life, you twat. Screw the Jade Emperor, screw Brian. I wasn't going to think about any of them again after this. Why should I? Never had a good reason to be here in the first place. I just lived my life like this never happened. That was feasible, right? In the end, the escapees were myself, sheep, monkey, rooster, and pig. Queen of Spades. If the second core is found in the first 3 rounds, Dog will be assigned a role that forces him to act. If a man of his talents and temperament finds the taming whip, he will definitely make good use of it. Dog's the type to take as many people under control as possible. Yeah. While far from the smartest, when it comes to pure gambling, experience will give him pure edge. But that can only take him so far. Eventually he'll lose, and when he does, he's liable to burn the whole place down. The nature of gambling is uncertain. Well, less certain than most things in the world. This isn't a particularly attractive route to choose. No shit. I think we're done with all those, though. That's the jacks, isn't it? Wait. Which one was the gambling one? No, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, this one. So we're done with all the queens then. That's good. So we're done with that route. We'll wrap this one up here. It was a very long one. I apologize for that. And the next one, we're going to have to pick a new route from the start again, of course, and see where we end up. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.